Good morning. I'm Van Rogerson with NC East Alliance. We are having the third in a series of webinars on the Untapped talent pool. The first one was October 7th, which was the prison work release opportunities. November 10th was opportunities with veterans. And then today we have the hiring of, the disabled individuals, all opportunities that employers have with those guys. If you're interested in any of the previous webinars, Trey has them on our website. They're on YouTube, LinkedIn. Please go back and look at those. We have some really great ones. This is in a partnership with Sarah Bernard with NCEDP. Thank you, Sarah, for being such a great partner with this webinar series. So briefly, I just want to run through and thank our advocacy sponsors who help pay for these webinars. Platinum Levels, ECU, Integrated Financial Holdings, and Vidant. Our gold is Bulling Company, Dominion Electricities, and our silver levels is the Port of Virginia, Duke, Evolve, Nutrien, Edenton Chowan, Kilpatrick Townsend, Martin Marietta, and PNC Bank. Thank you to all of those. I'm going to turn it over now to Trey Goodson. He's going to do a little Zoom logistics with you. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Van. And as always, we're going to run through the Zoom logistics. So first, we will have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar today. So if you have any questions, please save them until the end of all the presentations. There may be a few minutes at the end of one of the speakers' presentations that will solicit questions, and you can ask them then. If you do have questions, please use that Q&A box. Click it, type in your question, and submit it, and we'll address it when appropriate. If you plan to ask a question live, you can do so by clicking that raise hand icon. Click it, we'll unmute you, and you can ask your question live. The chat box will also be available. Some of the speakers may have some helpful links or resources that we'll post in the chat box, so keep a lookout for that. If you want to type in your question in the chat box, you can also do so there as well. If at any point during today's webinar you need to adjust your audio settings, you can do so by clicking that audio settings tab in the bottom left and adjust your settings as needed. And if you plan to ask a question live, you can do so. You can check your mic settings here. If you need to adjust your viewing options at any point today, you can do so by clicking that View Options tab and adjust your settings as needed. You can also enter and exit full screen mode by clicking the 4 arrows in the top right corner of your screen if you need to. Now I'll turn it over to Sarah Bernard, who's going to be our moderator for today. So Sarah.
Thanks a lot, Trey. For those of you just joining, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah Bernard, and I'm an existing industry expansions manager for the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina. I work mainly with manufacturers and distributors in the 17 counties in the northeast corner of the state. Thank you for taking time out to be here today. As the mother of a grown son who's on the autism spectrum, I'm really looking forward to today's speakers. Our first presenter is Tamika Gibbs. She is the business relations representative for the North Carolina Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services in Elizabeth City. With over 20 years of experience in the human services field, Tamika is a certified reentry specialist and behavior specialist with a focus on mental health and developmental disabilities. She has a bachelor's degree from Elizabeth City State and an MBA from American Intercontinental University. Take it away, Tamika.
You may need to unmute yourself, Tamika.
Tamika, can you unmute and turn on your camera, please?
Here I am. Sorry, it didn't want me to share my screen. But anyway, thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that. Again, I am Tamika Gibbs, the Business Relations Representative for the North Carolina Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services. I am really excited to share some highlights with you today about our program. I'm really glad to be here. One of the things I would like to do is first start off by giving you a little background information about the program. We look for our mission is to help people with disabilities to pretty much achieve their goals for employment and independence. As part of that mission, we are dedicated to empowering people with disabilities and becoming full participants in our society. So who do we help? We help individuals with mental health conditions. We also help those with physical conditions, intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, substance abuse disorders, and we help a wide variety of people in age. So we start with 14 years old and we go all the way up through adulthood. There are many core services that we can provide to help an individual with a disability to become successful. We assist with individual guidance and counseling, as you can see on the screen. We also assist with mental and physical restoration, pre-employment and career training, job-related services, rehabilitation engineering, and we assist with assistive technology, and we provide ongoing supports at the job site. And so we really sit down with the individual to come up with a personalized plan, because that's really important in the success of that individual. And so that will help us to help them find opportunities, whether it's in training or in internship, or just to attain those skills and work experiences that will help them with employment. We know that everyone's needs and abilities are really different. And so we closely work with that individual to determine the best plan for them to be successful. So instead of focusing on what an individual cannot do, we at our agency focus on what a person can do. And so that may be looking at their skills, their talents, their passions, and whatever their abilities are. While every person's story is different, we know everybody brings something different to the table, but the pathway to hope and meaningful employment really starts with an individual's identity of their abilities, what those abilities are. And so we believe at VR that North Carolina can be its best when all people have the opportunity to achieve their potential and live their lives full of purpose. So, inclusion and success. We believe that employment enriches and adds meaning to every life, and that workplaces and communities thrive when we embrace differences. Therefore, we strive to develop many partnerships throughout our local communities. Some of the employers we partner with, they love working with our agency because they have found that those clients that they employ with their organization, they are dedicated, they're hardworking, they're loyal, and they really make a positive impact on their business. So the quest for talent is today's defining business challenge. We know this, but yet many employers, they're unaware of a largely untapped talent pool of job seekers with disabilities. So across all of North Carolina, VR provides qualified, job-ready candidates, And we also have a menu of no-cost business services. So that means we can help with assessing your workforce needs, pre-screening candidates. We provide follow-up for our new hires. We assess training resources. We just help build a pipeline of skilled future employees through internships and other work-based learning opportunities. Another thing that we look at is retention services, because they can help identify tools that will optimize productivity and keep high-value employees on the job, and also increase morals. So I mentioned earlier our services. We have a menu of business services. And so if you look at the screen here, some of the things that we offer as far as resources and services include recruitment, onboarding, retention, pipeline development, inclusion training, technology solutions, financial incentives, and workplace accessibility. Another service is VR internships. There are many benefits on taking on interns. They are motivated and they help to grow the talent at your business. Interns, we all know that they gain that on-the-job work experience. And for us, we provide them at no cost. So we're willing to pay the wages of you taking on that intern. We cover about 28 hours a week, or up to 28 hours a week, and it will be up to 4 months. And there's a possibility that you could extend that if necessary. You do get the support from our agency when you take on an intern, whereas if you were just to employ another person off the street, they don't really come with that additional support. And so we really want your business to thrive. And so we offer a WOTC credit, which is work opportunity tax credit, if that intern takes on a permanent role at the business. Your business is aiding in disability inclusive workforce. And so this means that you're increasing innovation and you're reducing safety incidents, and it helps with staff turnover rates. So our interns are built on strengths such as problem solving, persistence, a willingness to learn because of having to make adaptations to the world around them. And so when they come through the door, they're really enthusiastic and they're just ready to take on and gain new skills. And so your business can really help to grow that. So another service is on-the-job training to help companies hire and retain well-trained employees. VR will help identify, hire, and train candidates who can benefit from OJT. We find that this allows for extended new employee orientation and training periods, up to which 75% of the new hires' wages can be reimbursed. VR can help sit down and devise a training plan for the on-the-job training of employees, and we will provide follow-up and possible job coaching services if they are necessary. Okay, so retention services, I mentioned follow-up right then. We provide those services for new hires or any employee who may be struggling on the job due to a disability. Services can be provided for 90 days or longer, and they focus on assuring that the employee and that job they're compatible. And so business services are provided free of charge, and the services can be customized to meet a business-specific retention needs. Now, some of the companies we contract with, we call them CRPs. There are local community rehabilitation programs. And here in Elizabeth City, we work with Skills Incorporated and Acceleration Educational Services, Inc. What they help us do is they help us to provide vocational evaluations, individualized career planning, intensive services such as OJT, job placement, job coaching, community work-based assessments, and retention services. But those are just a couple of businesses that contract with us in our local area. So I also mentioned earlier incentives. So we know that partnering with VR will give you a competitive edge. And so some of those incentives include the WOTC. And what we'll do is we'll sit down, we'll help you fill out the IRS form 8850, and this will help to break down those barriers to employment because it gives you an edge there. We also help with the disabled access credit. And when you take advantage of the DAC as a small business, this will help you to make accessible your business for consumers or customers that will come in that have disabilities, but even your workers that may have disabilities. And we'll help you complete the form, the IRS form for that as well. Another service provided is the disability awareness training. Windmills, it's a sensitivity training with a 12 interactive module. This is designed to address real world situations faced by businesses every day. And so although we at VR don't claim to be subject matters experts on disability law, we know where we can find the most accurate information on how to help leaders to recognize the benefits of a diverse experience and abilities, to improve communications with persons with disabilities, to learn how to implement low-cost accommodations, and pretty much understand the basics when it comes to disability employment law. And so these windmills trainings are all provided by certified trainers. They are free of charge. And if you are interested in them, you can reach out to me by contacting Trey, or you can at least put it in the chat and I'll reach out to you. But I can also provide a list of modules that you can choose from, so you can look at what may work better for your organization or your business. Now, I wanted to provide a few statistics really quickly. In 2019, the population for North Carolina was at about 10.5 million. And of that 10.5 million, approximately over 2.5 million adults in North Carolina had a disability. And so that's about, if you're a math person, that's about 1 in 3 adults. And so we even wanted to bring it closer to home. About 11.1% in Pasquotank County were classified as disabled. But even so, we were able to help a lot of individuals become employed. As you can see here on the chart, there were about 4,817 individuals who were able to successfully exit through our program. And of that number, it was about 34% that were transitional age youth. And they were able to exit the job making about $10.27 an hour. And that's a pretty good average. We know minimum wage is $7.25. So this is really good that they were able to, work and make above minimum wage. And so here's our contact information. I am here in the Elizabeth City office. You can reach out to me anytime. I will put the link in our chat for you to be able to go on our website. We do offer information in Spanish. The number is here on the screen. And if you're deaf and hard of hearing, we also are able to help convey our services through the video phone. And we just wanted to make mention that the COVID-19, we know that it impacted all of the businesses all over the country, but we never shut down. our office remained open. And even to this day, we're still providing services in person, but we do have a hybrid schedule as well. We are still providing services by telephone, email, virtual meeting tools as we're meeting today. But we have implemented, social distancing and all kinds of environmental cleaning practices because we want to make sure everyone that comes through our door remains safe. But this concludes my portion of the program. I do appreciate being able to tell you more about our program. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at the end of the session today.
Thank you, Tamika. That's some really great information. We appreciate you filling us all in on the benefits that you all provide to both the disabled individuals and the companies that are interested in hiring them. Our next presenter is Daron Dancy. He is the Vice President of Workforce Operations at ECVC Inc. in Greenville. Daron is a retired veteran of the Navy. He received an associate's degree from the University of Maryland and his bachelor's and master's degrees from Central Michigan University. Welcome, Daron.
Good morning. Thank you. I first want to start by thanking the NC East Alliance on allowing me to present on what I think is a true untapped workforce, individuals with disabilities.
Well, my parents set me up through this program, and basically they just wanted me to try it out, and they said they help people like me get jobs.
Soon after Alex graduated high school, he was very eager to start looking for a job, so him and his dad contacted me, and we discussed some providers that we can send him to work with the job coach, and ECVC came up.
We got sent to ECVC from vocational rehab. We came in and met with the people here. They did an assessment on Alex, what jobs might be a good fit for him, but they were also understanding, and they asked what kind of jobs he wanted to do.
We talked to him about what his interests were, what his experience was, his volunteering and his background, and tried to get an idea of where he might thrive.
I was like, I want to work inside, don't want to work outside. I was like, I want something to stand up most of the day, not sit down.
It was easy to see that he was well-mannered and hardworking, which was exciting for us because we knew that there would be a lot of different opportunities available to him.
Laura talked to me, and then she said, we found you this job, and they're hiring people. It was a job at AccuLink. And I was like, what they do at AccuLink? And she's like, they do a variety of things. They print things. They print mugs, they print other stuff, cards, just a variety of things. I was like, that sounds pretty cool, I might like working there.
When Alex first came here from ECVC, we showed him around, and it was very pleasant, very nice, and we showed him all the different products that we make, and he seemed very interested in everything. We took him to the mug department, and he seemed to really like that department, so we let him try to wrap the mugs and showed him the whole process, and he was very interested.
Then I came into McGill, which is my lead back there, and he showed me the ropes.
You know, he's been learning how to do everything in here, and he's had a pretty easy time learning how to do everything. Everything he does great. We've had no trouble, showing him how to do stuff.
He pulled mugs, he placed them with the tickets so they can go to whatever stations that they have to go to be packed and shipped out. He wrapped mugs, he put the wraps on the mugs, he taped mugs, he do practically everything. And he's good at everything that he does.
It's always nice to go out there and know that Alex is just a reliable employee. He's going to be there, and every time we see him, he's interacting with folks and doing a great job. He's really mobile within the warehouse. He works in a lot of departments. All the managers know who he is. They all speak highly of him, and we just know that Alex is doing a great job regardless of whether it's been a month or 6 months.
Actually, we have to kick him out when it's time to go home. We're like, Alice, it's over, but no, wait a minute, I got this to do, I got that. No, Alice, we're gonna finish in the morning. We don't have employees like that. He's the only one that is not running out the door.
Whenever they ask for volunteers to go to another department, Alex is always there.
Once you show him, he got it, and he's very particular on all of the work that he does. He's wanting to make it perfect. No rejects at all.
He gets along with everybody, real friendly with everybody, and everybody's real friendly here. He's not afraid to come up and ask for help, ask a question, ask for directions on how to do something. He's outstanding to want to work here.
He has a sense of duty that a lot of people don't, and I'm very proud of him for that. He makes me smile when I think about the job that he does. He's the kind of employee that I would want in my business.
He's just one of the greatest young men that I have ever met.
So what an awesome video, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but just wanted to give you guys a little background on who ECVC is. We've been in existence since 1965, and we actually have a couple of locations here in Greenville that we have employees located at. For me, when I'm working with employers and actually just talking to different individuals, the number one thing that I have to discuss or allow employers to express their concerns always ends up with myths about people with disabilities. So I thought it would be important to share with you all some information about some of those myths, and I hope that Alex's video also will kind of make you think a different way. I think by human nature allows us, when we hear certain words, we tend to form our own opinion. Sometimes we even visualize what that looks like, but it's not always the case. And so I wanted to share with you some not so true myths that I commonly have conversation with individuals. And Trey will share these slides when I'm finished with my presentation. I'm not going to read these. I just wanted to kind of give you all some background on some of the myths. And I do know for a fact that HR professionals on the line, I know we're constantly having concerns about ADA and FMLA. So yes, you are, curious to know about what risks there are for people with disabilities. But again, I think some of this information actually dispels some of those beliefs that we may have. Actually, 3 weeks ago, ECVC, we had a Office of Federal Contract and Compliance audit, and they were surprised at how few actual ADA cases that we had here at ECVC. So I do think that there's a natural assumption that people tend to think that when you hear the word disability, we automatically have these ideas that honestly are not necessarily true. I've worked in many different industries, and I have to tell you that the accommodations, FMLA, ADA issues here are no more different than they are anywhere else that I've worked. So why employ people with disabilities? What we do here at ECVC is we really get to know the individuals that we are assisting. And that's important because we want to make sure that we're giving them an opportunity to be successful. We do job matching. We really peel back the onion to make sure that these individuals know what's expected of them. We teach them work readiness, workforce preparation. I know the big thing now for employers is basic soft skills. We actually do that with individuals prior to us even considering placing them anywhere. We offer on-site employer training, meaning my staff will come out and job coach the individuals to make sure that they're going to be successful. We call that offering supportive services. I think it's important. I think that's very important because a lot of times individuals, they take a job and they just kind of seem out there, they seem lost, and eventually that non-connection will cause problems or issues for them. So here at ECVC, we have check and balances measures in place to ensure that we're giving the employee and employer the opportunity to be successful. We offer follow-up services to make sure that there's good connections with the employee and employer, and all of these services are free to the employer. Now let's talk a bit about some successful workforce people with disabilities. Currently, about 84% of our company's overall direct labor is done by individuals with significant disabilities. We're really proud of our registered apprenticeship program. We currently have 3 Department of Labor registered apprenticeship programs. We're actually the first community rehabilitation program in the state of North Carolina to have a Department of Labor registered apprenticeship program with individuals with disabilities on the apprenticeship track. We've had 3 successful apprenticeship classes, and the classroom portion of this training crosses all industries, meaning what we teach in the classroom applies to advanced manufacturing, it applies to retail, it applies to customer service, it applies to fast food. We want to make sure that we're giving our individuals all the chances that we can to be successful when they actually enter into the industry that they choose. A success story for me is I am a highly rated disabled veteran through the Veteran Affairs. So I feel like being a disabled veteran, I've done really well for myself. And I'm proud of what I've accomplished, even though I do have high rated disabilities myself. We partnered with the Pitt County C&D site here in Greenville a while back for staffing. They had a staffing need. And so we actually went out, assessed what their needs were, came back, and again, we did good job matching to make sure that we were giving them the right individuals. And that actually is still ongoing today, as we've been very successful in being able to staff up the Pitt County C&D site. Here's some of our first employees that we placed at the C&D site. Some feedback that Mike, the supervisor at the site, has given us about our folks there. I just mentioned our apprenticeships, and we are really, this is a big deal for us here at ECVC, and we're proud of what we've accomplished here. And our apprenticeships really are centered around individuals with disabilities that end up on the journeyman track. Again, we were the first community rehabilitation program in the state of North Carolina to have individuals with disabilities on an apprenticeship track, and we are proud of that. Charlotte was actually one of our, I think she was in the second apprenticeship class, and this is me presenting her at Vidant with her journeyman custodian certificate of completion. Charlotte is still employed at Vidant and actually is doing really, really well. She has aspirations to become a supervisor there. And from my understanding, she's also now enrolled at Pitt Community College. Several weeks ago, I think ENC East Alliance hosted a veteran recruitment webinar. Veterans are big here for us at ECVC. It's natural, it's part of our culture. We've been able to successfully win the Department of Labor's Higher Veterans Medallion Award at the gold level for 3 consecutive years. We've won this award every year that this award has been in existence. Veterans are a big piece of what we do here at ECVC, and we're really proud of how we've been able to give back to the community. So what type of jobs can we assist with in the community? We've been successful at placing at manufacturing, assembly, customer service, retail, hospitality, custodian, and many more. Again, I think the big key for us being successful at placing individuals is our ability to get to know the individual one-on-one. We don't wholesale individuals. Everybody has a one-on-one encounter with us. We get to know them. We get to know what's a good job match for them and offer the supportive services to ensure that they have a high chance of being successful. And again, I think the big thing that a lot of you on this webinar today is concerned about soft skills. Will people even show up, to work? We work on these things up front to ensure that these individuals understand what's expected by employers, and we have the agreement that that's what they will do prior to placing them at any location. Other community rehabilitation programs throughout North Carolina. This concludes my presentation. I'll take questions at the end of the session. I also wanted to present Jason Thomas. ECVC also offers packaging, warehousing, and distribution opportunities. So please contact Jason if you have the need for any of those services. And at this time, I turn it back over to Sarah.
Jerome, thanks for that helpful overview of all of ECVC services and the success you've had in placing candidates at businesses. It's a really admirable organization with all the success that you've generated over the years. Susan Hockenberry is our next speaker. She has worked at Colony Tire's Retread division in Edenton for 6 years and as a shift supervisor there for the past 3 years. During her downtime, Susan also works with a veteran-owned company that sells military-inspired clothing. The proceeds of that company's sales go back into the community to help struggling veterans. Susan, please tell us a little bit about Colony Tire and your experiences employing and managing people with disabilities.
Sure. Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. Sorry. All right, so a little bit about Colony Tire Retread plant. We're based here in Evanston, North Carolina. I am Susan Hockenberry. I'm the lead shift supervisor here. I mainly work during the day. We have 2 shifts, a day shift and a night shift. And Tom Soto is our plant manager. Colony Tire started back in 1979 as a simple service station. It has since grown to over 30 different locations in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. It offers car services, OTR, which is off-the-road services, and it also offers retread services, which is where I currently work at. It started as a simple family business that has since grown into a much larger family. Within the Colony Tire business, every employee and customer is treated like family. And I don't just say that lightly. Everybody here is a very tight-knit group, and we all work together very well. It really is an actual family here. What is Retread? That's a big question that I get asked a lot. A lot of people haven't heard of it. I never heard of it until I worked here. So the retread is the process of recycling used truck tires by taking off old worn-down tread and applying a new safer tread on it. A lot of these tires that we get are used for truck and trailers. You know, we have FedEx, we have Walmart, we do tires for school buses, so it's very important that they have a safe and reliable new tread on there for transportation. The process itself requires quite a few different steps. There are many, many steps, and I didn't even try to include them, and that's because it would take too long. But each step of the process is very important. One step can't be done without the step before it being completed, and also the step after it being completed. The number one priority in the retread plant is safety. Obviously, we have a lot of heavy machinery around here. Safety for our employees, and also the safety for the customer that's going to be receiving these tires. The last thing that we would want to hear is a tire that blew out in the middle of the road one day. So safety is always the number one priority here at Retread. At Colony Tire, we have a wonderful staff of people who not only are very proficient in their jobs, but they are also great team players. As mentioned, every step in the process is very critical. It takes a great team to work together and to ensure that all steps are done. And that is what we have here at Colony. It really is a teamwork job here. And it requires people to constantly be working together. It's, you know, that saying, you're only as strong as your weakest link, is very true here. It's a production-based process, so not a lot's going to get done if you only have one side of it working. But everybody here is a great team player, so it really makes it good. Most of our employees have worked for the company for over 10 years. And we even have some that are working on being here 35 years. It's a lasting job for sure. They're all very knowledgeable about the equipment and experienced us to help fellow employees when they need assistance. So most of the time when you get hired on here, you get trained for one specific job at first. But once you get proficient in it, we always try to move you around to get more comfortable with some of the other equipment. You're not going into a situation that you're unfamiliar with. We want you to at least be familiar with every step and every process here so that everybody can stay safe and, again, to always work as a team. With having many experienced employees here at the company, it can make the initial training process a little bit easier and welcoming for new employees. You know, it's really refreshing when we have a new hire come in and they see that most of the people here have been here for a long time. So they're very comfortable in approaching some of our senior employees and being able to ask them questions and being able to get the answer. Sometimes it's a little easier to ask a fellow employee questions than it is to ask management. So we have that really great here that, you know, everybody here is very approachable and answering questions. Our employees are quick to offer advice, assistance, and further training to anyone who may need the help. Like I've mentioned, we have a good small family here who all get along well with each other, and they make it a more enjoyable work experience for everybody who's here. Colony and equal opportunity. At Colony Tire, we are an equal opportunity employer. We do not discriminate a person based off of their race, gender, sexuality, religion, or disabilities. We've had the opportunity to work with some very fine individuals who may have had challenges in their past employments. We see this quite often, unfortunately, where because of a certain disability that a person has, they don't usually end up making it somewhere else. You know, it's maybe there's too many customer interactions, or maybe it's just too crowded, or it's not a good environment for them because of their disabilities. And we have the luxury here, at least, where it's the same group of people at the same time, at the same day. So it's a very routine process that we have. So it makes it easy for a person who may be challenging with some disabilities to get into a set routine and a set pattern by having the same people in the same spot. So it does make it very much more like a family setting for them. We work very closely with all employees who get hired, and I do mean all employees who get hired. There's no difference in the training between one person and the next. Everyone gets the same proper training that is required. There's no skill level needed in order to operate anything here. We provide all the training tools, and we offer different types of training tools. There are some ways that people learn different than others. We have visual videos for training that we have people watch when they get hired. And then after they watch the videos, then we have the reading material, which is pretty much the same as the video. And then after that, they get the hands-on experience. So whether a person is quicker at learning through visuals or through reading or through hands-on, they're provided all those three different techniques so that they can retain that information a little bit easier. There's no positions in our plant that are any less important than another. All positions and the employee work in it are a very essential part of our job, and I do mean that. There's no position here that is any less important than the next. They are all equally important, and every person working it is just as important. Our employment in the past, present, and future. Colony Tire Retread currently works with Skills Inc., as Tamika has mentioned earlier, to provide job opportunities to individuals who may be struggling to find work due to their disabilities. It's a great program for our team here at Colony and to the potential employee. Not only does this provide the individual with a place of employment, but it also provides our company with a valuable team member. In the past, we have had tremendous success with the people who have come from this program. We find that they are very eager to learn, they are very attentive to their task, and they are very focused. And honestly, they do provide a great attitude towards their fellow employees. In fact, we have 2 individuals currently employed here right now that are about to receive their 5-year watch for being here for 5 years. And that's a pretty big accomplishment here. You know, that's a milestone to receive your 5-year watch. So we are very honored that we have had these individuals here, and they have been a successful part of our team. The benefits to being employed here at Colony Tire: we have competitive pay for this area. We offer 401k. We have health, dental, and vision insurance. We offer production bonuses. If at the end of the week they reach a certain target, then they get an additional amount added onto their check. Plus, we offer an attendance bonus monthly, and that's simply just showing up to work every day. You show up to work every day, and you get extra money at the end of the month. It's wonderful. We also do certifications incentives, which include a pay increase. So for each position that you get certified with through Michelin, then you 25 cents per payday per hour added onto your check. So that's a great incentive. So we have some people out here that maybe only feel comfortable learning 1 or 2 positions, and that's okay. And then there's other people who want to learn all the positions, and so, you know, that's an incentive to get them to want to know the equipment a little bit better. And so we found that that's worked really well. And of course, we also have paid holidays off. In closing, we look very forward to having new people join our team and being part of our family. We not only provide the tools you need to succeed at your job, but we offer a wonderful environment to work in. And we look forward to helping you achieve your goals and being a part of our team. I have some contact information up there for anybody who's interested. This is my work email address and my cell phone. This is my personal cell phone number. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime, any day, it doesn't matter. And if you have anybody that is interested to apply online, simply go to Colony Tire and look for the Retread technician, and there you go. But I'm sorry I don't have too much more going there. It was kind of thrown at me last minute, but you know, all in all, to sum this up, I have to say that in the past we've had tremendous success with the teams that we've worked with, you know, specifically from Skills Inc. Everybody enjoys it. We love having the people. They bring a wonderful attitude to the work environment, and we really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Susan. We really appreciate your presentation and the great inclusive environment you're creating there at Colony Tire. And we really appreciate that you hung in there and stood in for Tom at the last minute. We know that's not always a great position to be put in, but we appreciate your time and thought into your presentation. And I want to thank Tamika and Jerome too for their presentations. We will go ahead and take some time for questions now. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions in the question box in your control panel. I know we had one already from Susan to Tamika asking about whether vocational rehab offers their services in person or online. I can think that was with the Windmills program, and Tamika said that program is offered virtually as well as in person. And I had a question for Susan. I was wondering if you could tell us, you know, when I think of truck tires, I think of big heavy things that have to be lifted. And I was wondering how physical the work is at the Retread plant, or if machines are doing that lifting. But I wondered if that affects what type of people you can hire when they do have disabilities.
Sure, no, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm a pretty smaller, tiny little female. So my philosophy is if I can get out there and do it, anybody can do it, and that's not a great term, but no, that's a great question. These are pretty heavier tires. Most of them do weigh between 50 to 100 pounds, but we do offer the proper equipment. We have several lifts, you know, that'll get the tire up off the ground, it'll put it on the machinery. At no point is anybody actually physically picking up any tires or anything heavy. Every piece of equipment here that we have is designed for anybody to use. And like, as I mentioned, before anybody gets on any piece of equipment, they watch a training video that's done through Michelin. So it's Michelin's training video, and at the end they'll be asked to answer questions. And so as far as any physical challenges, it is very labor intensive because you're constantly moving, but it's not strenuous by any means.
Okay. Yeah, it was great too how you pointed out in your presentation how inclusive you try to make your training, whether people are visual learners or auditory learners or hands-on learners. So that's really great that you offer those different modes of learning to people, not only those with disabilities, but the rest of us who prefer different ways of learning things. Trey, do you see any other questions?
Not right now, but I do have a question for the panelists today. Thank you guys, by the way, for the presentations. Fantastic information. And just a reminder to the attendees, this webinar is recorded. I will post it probably about Monday and send it out to all registrants as well as with the presentations and resources from today. I'll send that out to everyone in the email. But my question was, are these employees typically full-time or part-time? And also if there were any employees that had difficulty with transportation, are there programs to assist people to get to the job?
So Trey, I can go first, and I know everybody's answer is going to be a little bit different than mine, but because we help such a wide variety of people, we are able to help people get full-time and part-time. It just all depends on their needs. Transportation has posed as a barrier tremendously. And so one of the ways we've been able to help is either by what we have ICPTA, which is our local transit. We also utilize CAB, and one of the CRPs, fortunately, that I mentioned earlier, which is Acceleration Educational Services, they have an express transit. And so they've stepped in and stepped up in order to help a lot of our clients get back and forth to work. So we're really appreciative of that transportation service that they've provided.
Thanks, Tamika.
You're welcome.
Trey, I'll say that we are able to place both full and part-time individuals. As Tamika said, it just depends on what the individuals are looking for. But yes, we have the ability to place both full and part-time. Transportation wise, yeah, same as Tamika said, here at ECVC for our employees, we do have transportation options for them, but that's for ECVC employees.
Thank you, Jerome.
Yes, so we also offer full-time and part-time employment. 95% of our work here is full-time. We always try to make sure that our employees get at least 32 to 40 hours a week. And, you know, we kind of have busy times and we have slow times. Wintertime is a little slower, but we always guarantee that they get full-time hours. There are part-time positions if needed, but we found that not really many people are needing part-time. Most of them, you know, especially the people that come from Skills Inc., they are here on time every day without fail, 40 hours, no problem. So even though we do offer part-time, it's more often that people are willing to work the full-time. And as far as transportation, to follow on with what Tamika said, it is kind of a struggle from time to time. We do have people that use the ICPTA, I think I said that right, the intercity public transportation. We do have people using that, but most of our people are here locally in Eatonton, and a lot of them don't have too many issues getting transportation. We also have several work vehicles. It's not uncommon for somebody to call up and say, hey, look, you mind picking me up? It's no issue whatsoever. So we'll make sure that if you need a ride, you're provided one.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. And Sarah, I don't see any other questions unless you had another one for the panelists, but if not, I'll turn it over to Van.
Okay.
Oh man, thank you for a great webinar. Special thank you to Sarah and Trey for a whole series. This Untapped Talent Pool webinar series has been fantastic. Thanks to all participants today. Just want to end by reminding everybody our December 17th webinar is really a cool one. It's the Economic Forecast by the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. The 17th is the earliest by law that the Federal Reserve is able to talk about how the economy looks for next year, because they're not allowed to impact the stock market and all at the end of the year type stuff. So that's at 2 o'clock. Join us if you can. And you're all welcome to join our advocacy group. That's financially or helping us with all kinds of activities that we are working on regionally. So thank you for today. Thank you for joining us, and be looking for Trey's copy of today's webinar. and all of the opportunities there. Thank you. Have a great day.